appreciate it, Katie. Yeah, got to be upset with Katie for putting me after Coach Ryan. That's a tough football. But Chad Savage, super excited to be here at USC. Just a place with so much tradition. You look up, you walk up the stairs every single day. You see 11 national championships, 8 Heisman Trophy winners. You don't find that anywhere else across the country. Super excited to be under Coach Riley's leadership and just be surrounded by great people. But first off, I want to thank Coach Norvell and his wife Kim for the opportunity they gave me the last 3 years to be at Colorado State.
All right, we'll start with Keely.
Hi, Coach Keely, or team coach here at USC. We've heard about your ability to recruit the SoCal area. How would you describe your strategy when it comes to recruiting the relationships you build?
I mean, it's a cliche saying, everyone says it, but double down on relationships, do your due diligence, but you got to give people the time of day, because it doesn't matter if it's a small inner city school, it doesn't matter if it's a Trinity League school. You got to give people the time of day, you got to reply to their texts, you got to be honest with their evaluations, because you never know, a lot of these kids might have 4 stars, 5 stars, but some of the best players might be under-recruited kids. And so you just got to do your due diligence with the recruiting process, and you got to give everybody the time of day.
Your reputation in Southern California among the high school coaches is about as high as I've probably encountered in quite some time, at least with a coach from USC. How did that develop? Would that have been, if your territory was Seattle, Washington, would have that become like Southern California in the same way? Or just talk about the process of how kind of developed into where you are here.
I was fortunate to have Southern California, the last 2 schools I was at recruiting-wise, and so I had LA County, I had Long Beach, I had San Diego, and it doesn't matter if it was LA, it doesn't matter if it's Seattle, Washington, like you said, you got to spend time with the people. And so when you go to a school, you see a lot of coaches just go by, shake hands, and they're in and out of the office in 10 minutes. You got to go spend time with the coaches and have conversations with them, ask them questions too. And it's got to be a two-way street. And I think if you just invest in time, people are going to appreciate that. And that's what I try to take pride in.
Do you think being at Colorado State, maybe where there's a bigger pool of fish that you're recruiting, do you think that benefited you?
Without a doubt. You definitely got to do, I think, more homework when you're at Colorado State. You got to try to turn over every single rock, and sometimes you will find that diamond in the rough. And having that experience the last few years, I'm definitely grateful for that, because we did find some diamonds in the rough.
Chad, just to go off that, Chad was kind of registered. You're now going after where you might have been going after more of kind of the long-term stones of Colorado State. And now you're going to be competing with 5 stars nationally. How was your experience at Colorado State with learning to develop those relationships? How do you feel like you can apply that to having more resources and a bigger pool to work with at USC?
I'm just excited. I mean, wearing the USC logo, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're Southern California, Arizona, on the East Coast, this logo carries weight and people recognize what USC is. And so now just continuing to be who I am, I'm not going to change up just because I got a new logo on. I'm continuing to be Chad Savage. I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to be diligent, and I'm going to just be respectful to people. You know, I was raised on certain values, and it doesn't matter what school I'm working for, those values are going to stay the same. And so at Colorado State, like we talked about earlier with the previous question, we combed through every single school, and we were able to find some good prospects. I'm still going to continue to do the same thing at SC. Yeah, there's some guys that are going to have the high rankings. Great. But you might find a guy in the diamond in the rough in the inner city league, and if he's the best player, we're going to sign him.
Just a quick reminder to the media, we have lots of new coaches learning all your names and faces, name and outlet. That'd be great.
Hey, Chad, in terms of Washington Athletic, how do you kind of splitting time between receiver and tight end, kind of work and stuff? How do you split time for practice and meeting those guys?
We're still kind of working through that dynamic now that we're off the road. The last 2 weeks, obviously, we were on the road recruiting, and so we were back in the office Monday watching cut-ups of the offense and kind of talking through the dynamic of how practice is going to run, how meeting structure will work out too. But that's a conversation we're talking about right now.
Hey Coach, Connor Morris over at USCFootball.com. You're known as this great recruiter, and I feel like that's a huge part of your reputation, but let's hear about you as a coach. What's your identity as a coach, and what do you want to accomplish on the practice field every day?
Raised on number 1, team growth, number 2, individual growth. So it's all about the team. I'm going to be here to help these guys achieve their personal goals, while most importantly working on the team goals. Because you could be a 1,000-yard receiver, but if you go 0-12, does it really matter? No. So let's get everyone eat. Be very detail oriented, because I believe the difference is in the details. But at the end of the day, I want it to be a good experience for these guys. I want to create excitement, because I believe happiness increases the time of exhaustion. And so these kids, whether they're here for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, this should be the best experience of their life. And so when their feet hit the floor in the morning, I want them to be excited when they come to the building to play for me.
Ryan Young, trophysports.com. We spent a lot of time today talking about the new personnel and recruiting department. From a coach's perspective, how does Chad Bowden and that staff make things easier for you, impact what you all can do as coaches recruiting wise?
I think as many hands as you can have in the fight, it's going to just help you as a team. And so to have a certain structure, a certain vision that Chad has, we're just super excited as coaches. He laid out the plan on Monday, and now he articulates that vision. Now we got to execute it.
Benjamin Royer with the LA Times. Chad, can you kind of talk about being a younger coach and what that perspective gives you on a coaching level?
I see myself as a self-starter. I see myself as a high-energy guy, and so being a younger guy can relate to these guys. I know what music they're listening to. Some of these inside jokes they might be making walking down the hallways, I might have heard it once or twice, but just being able to relate these guys to a personal level and being consistent with my energy and attitude every single day. Because you see me at practice, I'm gonna be flying around, I'm gonna be running around, I won't be walking. That's just who I am as a coach. And I think when you perform with high energy, energy is contagious, and so if you're a coach with high energy, it's gonna wear off on your team, you're gonna see what you want.
Hey Coach, Ryan Dowd here with the LAFB Network. Welcome to LA.
Appreciate it, thank you.
You know, you've probably met these guys maybe once. You talk about being recruiting, but this room you're inheriting, super talented tight end room, plus the inside receivers. The meeting you have had, can you talk on just kind of what you've seen from these guys so far and what you can get out of them?
Yeah, my first day on the job, I was able to meet with these guys, both the inside receiver group and the tight ends. It was a quick meeting, 5 minutes, and to be honest, that was the only meeting I had because after that I was on the road for 2 weeks. Saw the guys yesterday. A few guys are coming in here and there, but realistically, I just talked about the standard of the room, how we're going to operate, how we're going to do things, and we're going to set the standard high because that's what we're going to achieve. And this place has high standards, and so we're not just going to set the bar low. In our room, we're going to set the high standard, and we're going to go after it every single day. And we're going to carry ourselves like pros, and it's my job to take their talents to a level they can't take themselves.
I guess, as far as receivers are concerned, you know, you've been coaching that position for a while, so you know what you've been looking for. Do you have to look for anything significantly different here at USC than you did at Colorado State?
Playmaking ability. It doesn't matter where you're at. What kind of player is he with the ball in his hands? What kind of player is he when the ball's not in his hands? Is he a willing blocker? Does he have the attitude and demeanor to roll up his sleeves and get his hands dirty and be physical on the perimeter? But when the ball's coming his way, is he a versatile athlete? Can he run through the catch? All that stuff's the same. It just, this guy might be a little bit faster. He might be a little more fluid in the routes. And now we can recruit on a national level too.
Chad, what relationship have you developed with Lincoln so far? And how do you feel like, you know, he kind of trusted you again as a younger coach, Colorado State, to step into this kind of role at USC?
For sure, and I think trust is built over time. It's not just going to be built overnight. And so how he sees me operate day to day as a coach and a staff member, he's going to respect me. And obviously I got so much respect for what he's done just as a head coach. One of the best offensive minds in the game, but just how he carries himself, he's a leader and so many people respect him and he's creative. And so I'm just been so excited. I'm fortunate for this opportunity, and every day I wake up, I couldn't be more excited to come in this building.
Any more hands? Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Coach.